Good afternoon. The sound is probably not great because it's a little windy. Figured I would start a new vlog. It's been probably about a year since I filmed one. I am currently on my trauma surgery block on my surgery rotation, and today is my pre-call day, which means I get out at around noon and prepare for the 24 plus hour shift that I work tomorrow. So it's around 3 p.m. I went in this morning to check on the patients, write the daily progress notes, those sorts of things. Went home, did a little bit of studying, did some laundry, called my mom, and now I'm waiting for the bus to meet my friend who's here from out of town. She's in just for the weekend, so wanted to make sure I got to see her. All right, it's literally 7 p.m. You can tell because it's still light outside, but I'm about to pop a melatonin and go to bed. On these pre-call days, I always try to be in bed super early. Try and get like 10 hours at least. I don't always succeed. Sometimes I go to bed late. It's been busy on the trauma service the past couple of days, and I'm gonna be on call on a Sunday, and so I feel like it'll probably be busy since it'll be a weekend. So yep, going to bed. Good night. Good morning. It's 5 o'clock. I'm just packing my glasses, toothbrush, toothpaste, contacts case, contact solution. I never actually use my glasses when I'm on call. When I sleep, it's sort of like I'm expecting to get woken up by a page and there's no time for me to put my contacts back in, so I just pack it just in case. Sunscreen, even though I won't be outside all day. So as you can see, it's still dark outside. No one's in the streets when I walk to work. Running a little late today. I tried to get out the door by 5:30 and it was like a little closer to 5:40. So there are 3 teams of residents on trauma. We alternate days that we're on overnight. So the residents are generally on overnight every 3rd night. Thankfully, as a medical student, we do every other overnight shift. So I'm only overnight once every 6 days. And for that other overnight shift, I stay for 12 hours. So normally in the morning, my resident team and I go pre-round on our patients at 6. And then we do table rounds with all of the other teams and the attendings at 7. From there, get ready for the rest of the day. Don't know what happened to that M. All right, we just finished morning report. This is my co-student, Christina. We're about to walk into a case. So I'm about to scrub, but I just want to say I always find it so silly when people who like make videos show a video of them scrubbing, because obviously they're gonna have to like collect their camera or collect their phone or something afterwards and then just completely re-scrub. So you're not gonna see me scrubbing today. I'm gonna only do it once. Oh, I feel like my face looks shiny as hell. So we're running the list at 8:30, and my intern basically said that we should grab some food. So I'm finally eating my first real meal of the day, which is cold pizza. Shout out to Trader Joe's for that frozen veggie pizza. In the meantime, since I'm pretty behind on my reading, I'm gonna do some textbook stuff. The book that a lot of folks use on the surgery rotation is D. Virgilio's. It's a pretty thick book. There's a lot of material, but it's case-based, kind of question and answer about major things that you might want to anticipate in each type of surgery. I finished the trauma chapter, for example, within like my first week on trauma, and now I'm kind of working through the other chapters that are most relevant to what I've seen so far. Before I get started with studying though, I did want to talk a little bit about the case that we saw today. It was a really interesting surgery. Basically, this patient a few days ago had come in, gunshot wound to the chest. It had damaged the right subclavian, and so at that point in time they put in a shunt to make sure that the right extremity kind of stayed perfused. It was a temporary kind of thing because with trauma patients, a lot of the time immediately after the trauma, they're pretty sick. They're losing a lot of blood. There are all these physiological derangements because of their injuries, and if you're interested in kind of reading more about what I'm talking about, you can look up the lethal triad. So a lot of the time in trauma, you'll do this kind of temporary surgery to kind of stabilize things, send the patient back to the surgical ICU and give them fluids, give them all the things that they need to kind of resuscitate them and make sure that they're okay. And once they're more stable, 24 to 48 hours later, you do a permanent surgery. So for this patient, we did a permanent graft for the subclavian, for the right subclavian. And so we took out that shunt and put in a new graft and closed them up. And, you know, I hope the patient recovers well because it was definitely a very major operation. Alright, all tucked into my little bed in this on-call room. It's like 10:15. One of my patients is due for another one of his serial abdominal exams at 1:30 in the morning, so I'm gonna try and get some sleep before I have to be up to do that and then write a progress note. Alright, it's 11:30. We got a level 1 trauma coming in like 5 minutes. Got a little bit of sleep, about an hour. Now I'm up, gotta go. Alright, ended up helping one of my patients through the CT scanner. Now I'm headed to the OR. So I didn't end up scrubbing it. Surgery was already pretty crowded. There was a bunch of surgeons kind of around the operating table. There wasn't really room for another person or another body around that table. So I just watched from the corner for a bit, and now I'm on the way to another patient room to complete a task for the floor. Eerie, being in the hospital at night. Genuinely such a vibe. 1:20 a.m. Did a couple things for the patients on the floor, and now on my way back to the emergency room because there's a level 2 trauma activation coming in. Hopefully I'll get to do the primary survey since that's what the medical students do. It's 2 a.m. I'm back in the call room. I worked a little bit on my notes and just waiting for a task now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna sleep. I think I might just do some Anki or something. Just gonna wait for the next page or the next task. Alright, it's 5:30. I laid back down for a bit and did some flashcards. I have a couple of notes to do this morning, some tertiary surveys. There are a few patients that we're signing off on. They're either going to a different service or we're going to discharge. And so we need to do like a full physical exam before we do that. So I'm going to go and do that before rounds right now. All right, it's 8:30. I'm out. It's a little earlier than I usually get out, but the attendings were merciful to us today. They had us sign out to the day team instead of presenting our whole list to them. Overall, pretty good shift. I didn't sleep too much, but I got a couple hours, which is a win. I was really grateful to get the opportunity to see such an interesting surgery during the day, and there are a good number of activations as well, and I felt like we were able to make a difference for those folks. One of the hardest parts about trauma is when patients come in really sick and they die, and that was something that definitely took some getting used to on my first couple of shifts. I think it's something that all people in medicine have to get used to at some point. Thankfully, we had nothing like that happen today. On my post-call days, I usually end up sleeping not too long, you know, maybe until noon or something, and then try and grab a coffee, get some work done. I think that that's gonna be my plan today. I'm probably not gonna vlog. I think I'm gonna end it here. It's been great having you follow along, and thanks as always for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.